Hello, people. We are back. Act2TP Podcast, episode 197, and we are back for another episode of us. Instagrammers, YouTubers, TikTokers, Facebookers, Apple Podcasters, Spotifyers, iHeartRadioers, Amazon Music, us, Podcast Indexes, Podchaser, Google Podcasts, Player FM. Hoot. Do all that. Type us in. We'll pop up. Like, subscribe, share, engage. Talk a little shit. We're going to talk a little shit back. But it's fun. So, you know, do what you're supposed to do. We do what we're supposed to do. And everybody have a good time.
Who are you?
International Walk.
It's your girl Tasha goes with the mostest.
I'm having like a blank here.
That's okay.
But yeah, it's your boy International Walk. That is the beautiful and voluptuous co-host is with the mostest with the cat sounds. But we back for another episode of us talk a little shit.
How are you?
I'm good. Oh, you want to get right to it? Me first?
Yeah, you go first.
I'm good. I feel like my mental is a 10. So yeah, I'm a 10 on the mentals. Good that way. Finances.
I forgot my bubbles.
Finances. You did jazz hands. Finances is an 8. Always leaving room for growth. Grab a mint, y'all. Work is a 10. Jumped on a new job, smoking it. But yeah, I hope I see some brighter things in the future. So work's a 10. Physically, I feel like a 10. I feel good. No, I'm gonna say a 9. I'm a 9. I'm gonna take that back. I'm gonna retract. I'm gonna say I'm a 9. I feel good. I'm blessed. I'm happy. My body feels great. I'm not in pain or anything like that. So I feel like a 9. What about you?
I actually can just kind of piggyback on everything you said. So what he said. So no, my mental is a 10. I feel great.
I was about to say, that's probably the quickest how are you ever.
I feel great. I feel blessed. I feel loved. I feel just joyful. I feel peaceful. So yeah, my mental is a 10. Finance is an 8, leaving room for improvement. You know, happy to hear my husband say there is some improvement. I ain't even been checking because I know, you know, God got us and my husband got us, so we gonna be all right. But yeah, I'm good. Work is a 10. Work is good. I got some initiatives going on and some implementation that I'm moving forward, and I'm really excited about it. I had a IT meeting today, and it's funny when you like talk to IT, and I'm not an IT person. Like, I know what I want. I know how I want it to look. So I'm just going to tell you in layman's terms, and then you do all the technical stuff. And they was with me, and it felt good. It was
I don't think that's something I could ever understand.
What?
IT.
I don't even try.
Even if I went to school for it, I probably would be like, what the fuck are y'all talking about?
It's like a different language.
Yeah, like what the fuck are y'all talking
and
about?
explain it to them. They're like, okay, like they seem like it's,
writing code and all that shit and knowing what's wrong and how to trace a line back to like.
The only thing is like you have to, even in layman's terms. What'd you say?
Ethernet and internet.
I thought you said eat the net. They're not eating it. It's like even in layman's terms, like they gave me some homework. I gotta like break it down. Like I have to be very specific in what I want, even in layman's terms, and for them to know. Like you have to say, I want this to do this, and then I want this to happen because of this, and then so you know they gave me a little homework, but I'm excited. So work is a 10. And my body, I'm a 9. I feel good. Admittedly, first due to COVID and then due to some laziness. I had 2 weeks off, you know, from walking. When I felt good, I didn't want to push it because, you know, like when you're coming out of being sick, you think you feel good and you do too much. And my baby was like, yo, just chill. You know, I still was eating right, but I finally told myself, all right, time to get back to it. So getting back to it this week. The weather, it's been kind of like nippy out there, so I'm just kind of
get your breath in.
It is, but then I'm trying to gauge because I don't want to sweat and then get a chill. Yeah,
you gotta take a jacket.
I've been wearing a jacket. I've been wearing layers, but it's still like, you know, you want to find that fine line. You want a good sweat, but you don't want to chill, so you want to find the perfect time to go. And when I went out today in the afternoon, the sun was bright, so it felt good. But I can see and feel the difference. Like even on the track, you could see like, all right, we had this much sun and then this much shade. Then it was like this much shade and that much sun as the sun started going down. But I'm feeling good. I got a little pain in my thigh that keep like a burning sensation that keep flaring up on me. But I'm working out. I'm not gonna let it hinder me.
And the one thigh.
Yeah, the one thigh.
And you didn't fall.
I did not fall. Why would you think I would fall and not tell you?
I wasn't smacking it.
No, you didn't. No, you wasn't smacking it.
So why we got one thigh?
I don't know. I think it's something.
You have a dead side like me?
I hope not. I think it's something radiating from my hip.
Bother your body though.
Yeah, I mean,
unless you pinch it.
It's like at nighttime when I'm laying down. I don't know. It's like a weird position where it's like, all right, it's when I'm doing nothing. It's when it bothers me the most. When I'm moving, I don't really feel it. When I'm walking, I don't feel it. But when I'm still, it's like. But I think it's not sciatica, but I think it's a nerve, like coming from some hip pain that's radiating down my leg, and I'm just not gonna let it hinder me. I've been stretching after I walk, so like
stretch before.
I haven't stretched before, but I do.
Stretch before.
Yeah, I do stretch
before
afterwards, and after. Just making sure I tend to my tenderness. So what's your wows and woes for this week?
My wow is I'm gonna go with my woe first. My woe is that I was just fighting with my friend at work, just because of the same old shit. And we gotta have these talks, and we're good again. So that's my brother. I love him, and he ain't going nowhere. So that's all. That's my wow and my woe. What's that? Yeah, my nigga cool.
I don't have any woes. I can't. If it's nothing on the top of my head, I ain't gonna dig for one. So I don't have any woes. My wow is this past weekend we had our kickoff meetings for Black Girls Love, a group that I am a mentor with and for. And it was just awesome. It was just a great feeling. Last year when I joined the group, I kind of joined towards the end of the season. So this is like my first official season joining like at the beginning. Just seeing the girls from all different walks of life being excited, to be part of something and know that I am contributing to that. It just feels good. It feels good being in that space, being able to give back. And one of the things that one of my fellow mentors said is, this is something that she wishes that she had as a young girl. And I thought about like that. So like I didn't really have, yeah, I didn't really have those, and maybe they were around me and I just didn't know.
And then some we are, and then we had some of the wrong ones.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had some mentors, but they were the wrong ones. But that's just where we come from.
Yeah, I didn't really have like that. And again, I know that there may have been things available, but whether finances or just, my parents not letting me or whatever, I just wasn't a part of anything like this. And we always tell the girls, like, even though we are there for them, it feeds our soul just as much as we hope that it feeds them. It's kind of like feeding your younger self what you wish you had by giving it to others. So I'm just excited about, what's to come. I've just really, it comes to a point in your life where you prioritize the things that are important to you. My husband, like our home life is my priority. Like, and I'm talking about in terms of like activities. God, of course, is the head of our life, but my husband is my priority. And during this time, this is just really something that I'm passionate about, and that, supersedes other things. So like even for work, like those Saturdays that, we have to meet once a month, it's like, nah, I'm off limits. Like that's my Black Girls Love Day, and I'm excited about it.
That's cool.
Even like my friends and stuff, like if they like, oh, that, something happened that Saturday, nope, not this Saturday, I got Black Girls Love, and
Black Girls rock.
Black Girls Love.
No, I'm just saying.
Oh yeah,
I know it's Black Girls
yes.
Love. I'm waiting on my popcorn too.
I know.
But this is a great segue. Black girls, black men. There is a new Black Man initiative out. Can you pull this up on your phone, please? Okay. Turn your phone sideways. But there is a new Black Man's initiative out from Kamala Harris to run on and in her but her
Her
journey
platform.
her journey to become president.
Mm-hmm.
So I was reading some stuff about some analytics that she showed, and she shows that what she's lacking in her polls is that Trump has the majority of the black man's of their vote, because people just think he's better for money and or whatever, and the men who feel like they're not going to vote for women. So that's what the statistic shows, and it also shows that in 2020, is that when Trump won?
Yes.
That's a lot of black men had voted for Trump then, and the drop in black men voting has been going down since 2008 in the Democratic Party. In the Democratic Party. But she has 5 agendas that she has. Can you read the 5 agendas?
So the first says providing $1 million loans that are fully forgivable to black entrepreneurs and others to start a business. Number 2, championing education, training, and mentorship programs that help black men get good paying jobs in high demand industries and lead their communities, including pathways to become teachers. Number 3, supporting a regulatory framework for cryptocurrency and other digital assets so black men who invest in and own these assets are protected. Number 4, launching a national health equity initiative focused on black men that addresses sickle cell disease, diabetes, mental health, prostate cancer, and other health challenges that disproportionately impact them. Number 5, legalizing recreational marijuana and creating opportunities for black Americans to succeed in this industry.
After reading that this afternoon, when I read that, I gotta say that's super dope. I can't shit on it at all. I can't say anything bad about it. I think that if her analytics show that I'm lacking in a space of black men, and the black men out here who are out here leading their households, that can sway a couple different votes. So I think it's a great initiative. I think those 5 talking points are good for black men. I think it addresses health. I think it addresses business. I think it addresses education. So yeah, all the way around the board, I feel like those initiatives are great. I don't know if it's I think it's gonna help, and I think it's a dope thing. I hope it's not too late. It's like 20 something days away from people, from you casting your vote. So when you go in there, like if this doesn't land the way it's supposed to land, then a lot of people is just going to blow over their head, and a lot of black men are going to vote for Trump because they think he makes the country run better. All the money flows better and all that kind of stuff. So it's dope, and I got nothing bad to say about it. I think all 5 things are great, and I think it can help black men significantly. Your thoughts?
And I don't want to be cynical about it. I feel like
again, hold on before you start. If it happens,
so that's part of where I was going. I don't want to be cynical about it, but I feel like why are these things just being thought of because you want the vote, right? So why weren't these things part of your plan? Like these things, like the health inequities impacting black men, the financial
as vice president,
the financial inequities. Well, not only that, this could have been a part of your platform from the beginning. You've been standing on reproductive rights.
Oh.
Why is this just coming up? Not only that, it is reminiscent to me of when Biden talked about student loan forgiveness that got everybody rallying behind him. And yes, there has been some progression made, but it's not in the capacity that he said that it would be, right? Like there have been people, I've seen people indicate that their student loans have been forgiven. It's in very specific pockets. But
the
it's
demographic
not
of that, what would you say it is? Just like, if you had to guess, is it all around, or is it like more whites than blacks?
No, I don't even think it's a racial thing. I think it's a profession thing.
Okay.
So like teachers, and I think for the most part, the people who I've seen who have said like their loans were forgiven were mainly in the education sector.
But it's a blended community.
Yeah,
of
yeah.
People who owe loans.
Well, the people that I've seen, the people that owe loans or has
like
been forgiven.
People who owe student loans, would you say that's a bigger black
okay.
community or bigger white community? I know
I would
white people
think that
they get financial aid, but more white people also pay for college outright because their parents do.
exactly. So I would say, just when we look at the income disparities in America, there are probably more black people that need financial aid or qualify for financial aid than white people. Not to say that some of them who don't qualify, they finagle the system to
Of
get
course.
financial aid. But I would think that, just because of the income disparities as we know it in all realms of life, when it comes to white and black people, there's probably more black people that are receiving financial aid. But again, I think her plan sounds great. We also know that these things, let's say she is 100% genuine, she's behind this is what she wants to do. We also know that the president doesn't have like there
Veto
isn't an
power.
autonomy
Yeah.
where they can just say, well, not veto power,
Autonomy, you're right. Yeah.
where they can't just say this is what I want to do and it's going to be done and put a stamp on it and that's that. So it's great, and I hope that she really stands in what she's saying to help push it forward. I really do. And I also hope that as part of her presidency, should she win, I hope that it is inclusive of those voices of people from the communities that she is trying to attract, right? So not necessarily saying like maybe they may not be part of her cabinet, but that she is seeking, like, it's one thing to make decisions for people based on what you think they need, but it's a different thing when you listen to people tell you what they need, tell you how to. So I hope that that's part of her plan as well. And again,
she did a town hall yesterday with Charlemagne at 5:00 on the Breakfast Clubs, and she took some calls, answered some questions, some tough questions like, why do you always repeat yourself even when you're asked a direct question? And she was just like, hey, I just want everybody to know that this is what I stand on. I say the same thing in Philly as I do in Boston, as I do in LA, because I want people to hear me say the same thing, like I'm not lying.
I mean, and she's a politician. I mean, I guess people have to also remember she's a human, she's a person, but she's also a politician. So a politician is going to politic in the way that they do. Just like, if you talk to doctors, you'll hear some similarities in their rhetoric.
They're going to doctor the way they doctor.
Yeah, if you talk to teachers, you'll hear some similar. So I mean, we forget that is her profession, and we look for her to be this down to earth chick, which maybe she is on a personal level, but there's still a certain level of decorum and professionalism and presidency qualities that she has to exude. So she's not about to get up there with her bamboos on popping gum. And I'll tell you, I am not one of those people that look to any president to say what you gonna do for black people, because I mean, when you think about it, there's a lot of issues that are plaguing and not only that, I don't want anybody to say, I'm going to do this for black people, I'm going to do this for black people, I'm going to do this just to get the votes, and then you get up there and all them white people that got to approve it don't approve it, because then it's going to come down and look bad on that person as if they lied and they didn't do it. So I would rather her shake and move and do what she needs to do to, bring things to fruition that would benefit us. But I can kind of understand why anyone would not want that to be a major part of their platform, because they can't promise that it's going to happen. So, I mean, but hopefully, I've had my doubt. I won't say I've had my doubts. I've had my concerns and my questions. My trepidation. And I still do, because again, black, white, yellow, green, blue, purple, she's a politician. And we know who the other person is because he is very outright and open, and that's scary.
We said it about
but
Barack.
We don't really know who she is yet. And for me, I just feel like I need to hear more than, and I'll take accountability and say I really ain't been listening that much, because I can't do the debates. Yeah. Like, soon, it is a pet peeve of mine to somebody ask a question and you don't directly answer. And this is not just her, it's both of them. It's the vice presidential debate. Yeah. Like, I can't take that. It's like noise.
You gotta go in knowing this is bullshit and try to weed out the information that you think is good for you. But what they're saying, 90% of it is like, I don't need to hear this. And oh, that one thing that they said, that might be true.
To me, it's like you got to almost not listen to the questions that are being asked and just listen to what they're
them.
going to say.
Yeah.
Because they're going to veer away from the question anyway. Just pick out what, like you said, some important pieces of information from what they say, because it drives me crazy for somebody to say, okay, how many cows do you have? And they start saying, well, let me tell you, right? The sun beats down on the ground and we grow this green grass that the cows eat, but then we also have pigs and horses that we have to be concerned about. And it's like, bro, she asked, how many cows do you have? I can't take it. My mind just it's like a little kid. Like, I can't take it. So, the debates don't do much for me. They drive me crazy. I
love the initiatives. I would like to see them happen. It does make me think with this guy, when he was last in office, when he put all them Republicans in the Supreme Court, it's like, how can something like that even get past them if, it's 6 Supreme Court seats?
Well, the Supreme Court doesn't necessarily have to vote on these types of things. Like when you're talking about passing law and policy.
The Senate also, he got people in.
Right. But
so if he got a couple people in the Senate, then that's a problem, because they're gonna just not want to pass the bill unless they pass it or they slip something else that they want in it.
Right, there may be some amendments. Like, yeah, I mean, as far as passing the legislation,
piece of Project 2025, like slip that up in there.
Well,
because this get passed, and on page 490 at the bottom, there's a little piece of Project 2025 in there.
You know what also concerns me and makes me a little weary about this? There is a gentleman, and I can't remember his name, but he has this staunch initiative to go after, and there was a black female owned, like, I want to say like a hedge fund type of business where they were funding black women entrepreneurs. This man, he goes after those people to shut them down, saying that you can't be biased in giving loans or giving I think it was grants or something like that for businesses based on race. And he is wreaking havoc in that industry. And I don't know to what extent, like, he's researching to find like these people. Like, we could have a corporation and say we want to sponsor any black female owned entrepreneurs, and he comes along, nope. Because you can't, they saying you can't discriminate based on age, race, gender, then or religion. And but you know where the fine line in that is, and I find this very disturbing, especially when you see comments on like social media when people say like when they had the Black Wine Festival, the vanilla people, they were like, oh, you want everything black, and then you complain that things aren't equal. And what people don't understand is that, unfortunately, or for however you want to look at it, a lot of us, we can't define our ethnic roots, right? So like Italians can say they're Italian, Chinese or Japanese or Polish people. For us, our culture is defined by being black. Because we don't know if we're Nigerian. We don't know if we're Ghanaian. We don't know if we're Rwandan. We don't know what countries we've come from. So but it gets tricky because black is also our race. And when they say you can't discriminate based on race, and it's not that we're trying to discriminate based on race, but it's the same thing as if you have the club for Italian American moms to get together. So it's not like you're not discriminating because you're not saying white moms. You're making it culture specific as Italian. But for us, we get caught in a loophole if somebody says black, because we don't identify as anything else, unfortunately.
Onto this, but this is not what we were supposed to be talking about. But this perpetuates racism when you do that. Like it just does, and I'm on both sides of it. I understand and receive what you said, but it perpetuates racism. It perpetuates segregation. Everything that's in the world don't have to have a ancillary this is black too, or we got to have a black one. Like, you got a church that you're welcome to. People made black churches. You got this that you're welcome to. People, they want this to be black. They want that to be black. At a certain point, it does get to be like, damn, like, do we want segregation again? And some people out there do. I'm just saying it does perpetuate segregation in a way where if are we supposed to be looking at everybody as together, or are we supposed to be creating? Now, if you want a Facebook group where it's Italian moms doing something and you want black moms to do something, fine, that's great. But when you start having brick and mortar shit that's just for black people and just for white people and just for Italians, that shit's no good. I feel that's just my opinion.
It's like the Knights of Columbus. That's for Italian people. And again, sometimes you do want to be in a space of your own. Like, you want to be, you know, I'm just thinking like in a black, I'm just throwing this out there as an example because I can't think of anything, of like a black jazz club. There's a certain level of relatability when you're with like-minded, like cultured people. Then now that doesn't mean you can't go to another jazz club that is mixed and it's, you know, a little bit of everybody. And that's not to say white people aren't allowed in the black jazz.
I think that's more cultured. Is if you're trying to be cultured, then I would want to go to some place that has a variety, not just black.
I understand it, but in some essences, you want to be with your own. Just like again, the Italian Moms Club, there's some similarities, whether it's recipes, whether it's, you know, the way they celebrate Christmas, the way they, you know, celebrate, or like a Jewish Moms Club, the way they celebrate bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah, having that a mixed group and having to explain everything to everybody. Sometimes there's a level of comfort with your own. Us being with just black people and not having to explain how, you know, we had 30-inch hair yesterday and today we got locks. Us as black people, we understand. But as a white person, having to understand all of those nuances about being black, sometimes just being in your space with your own and not having to think about or worry, that there's a sense of comfort.
There is a sense of comfort, and I received that. You just also have to think about when you're in those white spaces, you don't want them. I mean, it's the coins on the other side. You should feel like they shouldn't have to explain shit to you either, that you don't know about their culture. So it goes both ways, and I do understand and wanting to be around your people. I'm solely speaking for shit that's everything that everybody think is white. They want to, okay, we need a black one. This is white. We need a black one. Oh, they don't like us. We need a black one. Like, that's what I think perpetuates the segregation. I'm not talking about like you just wanting to be around your own. That's fine. But if you keep saying, okay, they got this, I want this to be black. I want this to be black. I want this to be black. It's like, okay, we're separating everybody. And I just don't think that's good for the, you know, us people.
Okay.
Tip and Tiny. T.I. said he's retiring because he does not need to sweat for money anymore. And because him and his wife sued MGA, they're OMG girls. I think they had a girl group with their daughter or something.
Their daughter
and the LOL doll company made some dolls of their image and likeness. And they went to court, had like 3 trials, and they won like $17 million for them doing the wrong thing and making the dolls. And then they won $67 million in punitive damages, like fucking pain and suffering. Like, you would think it would be the other way around. Like, for you doing the bad thing, like, you're going to get the most amount of a fine. But for you doing the bad thing, you only have to pay $16 million. And for them pain and suffering, you got to pay $67 million.
Well, and the punitive may also have incorporated some of the law, because LOL dollars.
Also, but before the $17 million, the taxes are already paid. The $67 million, you got to pay taxes. Always have to pay taxes on punitive damages.
The LOL dolls was raking in money. One of my nieces had just about everything that they created. And it's funny because I never even recognized the correlation until I heard about the trial. Then it was like, oh, yeah, duh. Like, they definitely made them in their likeness, like the style of the dolls. But when it came, OMG girls weren't like a huge thing. They, you know, got some shine.
They weren't as big as Barbie.
I'm talking about OMG girls, the group.
Oh.
They weren't as big as like Destiny's Child,
right?
But they got some shine. But So I guess it didn't immediately stand out to think that the LOL dolls were like a representation of them. But I'm happy that, you know, they won, especially if they definitely did something that was illegal, that was shady. Like somebody in their circle had to be like, yo, they gonna catch on. Or maybe they thought they wasn't gonna catch on.
Make off them
Yeah.
dolls?
Or maybe they thought they would never catch on. But I'm happy that they pushed forward with it. And you know, and let's also remember, they already had money, T.I. and Tiny. So now to have this on top of it, it's like,
he spoke on this and saying like this was mostly his wife, with her pursuing this, because he was like, it was becoming costly. Like, we keep going to court for nothing, and you got to pay the other person's lawyer. I mean, you know, the all the bills and stuff. And he was like, that shit was becoming costly. So I didn't think, I was about to say like another 2-3 times we're gonna stop, and then this happened, and it was like, holy shit.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Now, almost $80 million, and then you okay, so you got to pay taxes on the big part, so you get like 30.
And again, it's not like they were broke to begin with.
No, but still, just out of nowhere, 50 million.
I wonder how much of a breakdown did they give to the actual girl.
Yeah, he was talking about his nieces and the girls and how they gonna be straight and all that kind of stuff. And I think they had their own thing in the lawsuit, so they get money too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. So when he says retire, I mean, Tiny already, she was doing a little bit of touring. That's with how he worded and all that.
He was like, I'm retiring because I don't need to sweat for money no more. Like, I don't need to sweat for your entertainment.
I wonder if he's still pursuing the comedy thing.
Yeah, he's doing a special at the end of the year. He said he's shooting a special at the end of the year, but he was like, I'm still going to perform with PSC, you know, Young Dro and them. Mm-hmm. He was like, but, you know, I ain't sweating for y'all entertainment no more. I don't need to.
I'm excited for Clifford. That's awesome.
That's dope.
Yeah, that's I'm happy that Tiny pushed forward. You know, Tiny been a hustler before T.I. had money. You know, she been a down chick.
And
she been
1,000
riding.
things they said about his wife over the years, about her looks and what, you know, her body and all this shit. And he stuck it down. Like, that's his wife. He loved her. All the shit they've been through. And he even said that, like, when he spoke about this, he was like, that's what marriage is. He was like, I'm glad she was persistent and kept pushing and kept saying, no, let's go to court. Mm-hmm. And look what happened. Yeah. Can you imagine that feeling if you didn't?
No, right? To think that you, and they probably was banking on you giving up. So that's awesome. I'm happy for them. I'm happy that they won.
Yeah, that's a good retirement plan. A good retirement plan. Mm-hmm. Speaking of retirement plans, TD Bank is in trouble. They CEO and COO admitted and was convicted yesterday of laundering money of the Sinaloa cartel. Like, I am taking my money out of TD Bank. Ooh. I'm changing the accounts. I don't know when I'm going to do it, but I'm a switch up. I just don't like it. That's bad. They admitted and was convicted. The heads of TD.
I wonder, did they have a choice?
I don't know if they had a choice. And nobody is going to jail. They have to pay a fine of $3 billion with a B, $1 billion.
But it ain't coming out their pockets. It's coming out of TD pockets. But again, it's not coming out those.
Let you steal $3 billion. Let you.
No, they're fired.
Let you launder money from the Sinaloa cartel. I think you'd be in a jail.
But what I'm saying is, they're fired. TD has to pay money. But it may be some backdoor stuff where, like, they may not have had a choice. The cartel might have been like, we'll kill your family.
I'm sure it probably was, but I'm sure it was, but I don't know. But that's speculation. I mean, we watch the movies and shit, and we would think that they just reached out to him, or they got.
Think about the cops will let you have marijuana only if you bought it from the cartel. And it's legal, but you can't legally have it if you didn't get it from the cartel. If you got it from somewhere else, then you're in trouble. So, I mean, the pool...
you want to say that on here? The cops in the cartel and all that shit?
You think we should edit that out?
No, I'm just saying. It's cool.
You feel unsafe?
No, when we talking about cartel and shit like that, they got like trillions of dollars. They got long reach is all I'm saying.
You gonna protect me if they come?
Of course.
Okay.
All right.
Y'all, if we do an episode and we blink 5 times, that means save us, okay? Count our blinks. But yeah, I'm just saying, the reach that they have, I'm not surprised at anything that they may have done. As far, so I mean that may be, and maybe they don't want to give all the specifics. We know you got to believe half of
this
what
was
you.
an undercover trial nobody knew about.
That's
and they
what
were
I'm
convicted.
saying.
This isn't accusations. They were convicted.
But what I'm saying is they only are going to tell us what they want us to know. So we didn't even know the trial was ongoing. Imagine the amount of details that they're not releasing. So that may be why they're not going to jail, or they may have had some kind of plea. Give us some details, and you get off.
I'm sure they took a plea, but they said that the CEO admitted to it. So this wasn't like they had, like, I'm sure they had evidence, but he admitted. I guess when they seen like, okay, this is what they got, they admitted to it.
He might have admitted and said was tired of like trying to save his life.
That is crazy.
Now it makes me think too, right? With that kind of charge, or like now you have this kind of record, you're fired, of course. You may not be in jail, but what's your next career gonna be?
But you've been getting paid $10 million a year for however long. Let's say a decade you've been CEO, or 20 years.
But they may not have to pay the $3 billion.
They take their money.
There may be some penalties or that's taken from them. So I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you're right, because they do set up pleas like that where it's like if you was laundering money for the Sinaloa cartel.
And how much were you getting paid?
Yeah, and you don't go to jail, then it had to be something worked out where it's like the company's going to pay, and you're the CEO, so the company's going to pay $3 billion in fines. Your accounts are probably going to be wiped because we don't know what you were making off of it and getting paid.
Or they probably do. They probably can trace and see, okay, this was your salary,
right,
but every 6 months you had a $600,000 deposit. Like, they may know how much you were getting paid to do this. So I mean, who knows? Or they may, the kind of houses you live in, or the cars that your family may have. So we only know a little bit of what they're telling us, but there's probably some details that they just can't.
You don't
disclose.
think that's overreacting though?
What?
Like you should just, be smart. Go get another bank. It's like fucking 10 banks. Like why stay at TD if they laundering money for the Sinaloa cartel?
Okay, how you know Wells Fargo not doing the same thing?
We don't know, but that's the thing. We don't know. We didn't know about TD and we felt safe. But now that we do know, what do you do with that information?
I mean, it's up to you.
Don't say still feel safe, because if they laundering money for the Sinaloa cartel,
but how does that impact us?
What if they
Our
do
money
something?
Was never short. I'm
if
just
they
asking.
Gotta pay $3 billion in fines, how much money do you think they laundered for the Sinaloa cartel? 20, 30 billion?
Possibly, but I'm just saying, how does that impact us?
Because what if the cartel fuck with the bank? Just like they got them, like you said, they didn't have a choice. What if they put them in a situation where they ain't got no goddamn choice but to fuck people over?
Our money is federally insured. I mean,
go through the process of, hey, your money's gone. It'll be 45 days until it's back.
If you want a new bank account, baby, we can get a new bank account.
That is crazy to think of. A known bank like that is in bed with the Mexican cartel.
Yeah. I'm not surprised.
One of the biggest cartels in the world. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, you've been saying cartel a lot though. Now we probably already flagged.
Okay, yeah, we just we're not down. So don't flag us and think something's going on. 3 grams. Meta smart glasses.
So, okay. I
saw these and I was intrigued. I do think that they're dangerous as fuck. They're dangerous.
But my thing is this. Okay, so I saw them. I was intrigued as well before I saw this story, right? But then I had to think to myself, what are they good for?
Tell the people what they are.
Okay, so the glasses you put on and you're like recording while you are like walking and looking at people, and it does facial recognition. So it's recording almost like a TV screen or like a camera through your glasses, but that computer is also being watched by somebody else. So if I walk,
the 2 kids at Harvard who wrote this program, they walk around with this thing. It's recorded.
So what does the facial recognition do? Well, okay, right there when you said where does AI come into play?
That's what the facial recognition is. That's what the screenshot of the face, when they take a picture of a person's face, they screenshot it, send it back. AI puts it up, a generator searches the internet for hundreds
Any
of
place
thousands
that
of
this
pictures.
face appears.
Yeah, any place that face appears. Once they find it on a license or something like that, then they get the name, the address, your family members, and all that kind of stuff.
Well, not your license, I don't think, but any.
No, when they find it on a license or something, like if your name pops up and it's at the DMV.
I don't think they're accessing the DMV. So what you're saying, but I think what they're accessing is different databases. So if you were published on like a school website, if you had a Facebook account, I don't think some databases, I think there may be a firewall. So I don't think they're accessing the DMV database, but they are accessing, like the one guy, he worked, the one lady, she worked at a university, and the guy that what they
So
did.
you can access a college database.
Well, it may not even be a database. If it's just like you can look on a website to see where a college website, a public website that just may have a list of the professors. You know what I mean? So it's not like necessarily a database that has private information. Like he went to the lady and was like,
He told the girl where she went to school at and what she was studying for. So if that's a student. So if I'm just saying, if that the emails of this, like to say the email list for Harvard, all the students, that's confidential. You can't go on a public website.
Right, but what I'm saying is that could be information she had on Facebook. That doesn't mean that it came from a college database.
True.
You know what I mean? So with the one lady, it said like, oh, you work at such and such, and you like did a presentation or something. So that could have, like the conferences I go to, it may say, okay, Walter Dees is the speaker. He's the host of A2TP podcast. He works at this company. He's been married to Natasha Dees. So if somebody sees you and be like, excuse me, is your name Walter Dees?
Well, she's been married to me, but go ahead.
Happily so.
Yeah,
is your name Walter Dees?
Yeah.
And you might be like, who are you? You spoke at a conference I went to, and you have a podcast that you're a host of, and you'd be like, yeah, you know. He
told that one guy in the sub, don't you do this type of work back in India for Muslims? And he was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I read your work. He was so happy, like, oh my God,
and
thank
it made me feel bad.
Yeah,
like he really gaslit him to make him like happy that somebody had not only read his work but recognized him from there. But all along, all they're doing is they're matching your face to websites, getting your data. But so the reason why it surprised me when you said AI, I didn't know that was AI functionality, because like, you know how, and I don't know if you know this, let's say you see a guy that has a shirt on that you like and you take a picture of it. You can put that picture in Google and find out where you can buy this shirt. So I didn't know that was AI generated technology. I just thought that was like, I guess I don't really know what AI is.
Yeah, it's a lot more people than shirts.
Okay.
So it's a generator. You put it in, and that's what it does. It matches faces, hundreds of thousands, millions of them in seconds. That's like, so yeah.
It's scary. Like people were saying in the comments, like,
wasn't done. You cut me off, but that's rude though.
I apologize.
I'm just saying that was rude though. So I'm gonna just sit in it for a little bit.
No, I want you to finish.
I'm gonna sprinkle a little silence there.
Well, silence isn't good because this is...
Excuse me.
Yeah. Let's get your makeup.
As I was saying, like, because, you know, you cut me off too. Nobody be meaning to be rude to you, but damn. You made me forget what I was saying.
You still in it. We just kissed and made up, and you went back. Saying. So what I was saying, this can be used by stalkers, right? You see a woman, let's say you see a woman go into a building every day, but this building, it may be like the places you work. It could be 17 different businesses, but you don't know exactly where she worked. You take her face, and now if you know how to work, have this kind of, because they created this program, and
all you have to do is know when she's coming in. Hold the door for her, snap a picture of her face.
Exactly.
Good morning. And then when she goes in, walk back to your car.
Because it's through the glasses, and you may not even know. And then the next day you could be like, hey, aren't you work for such and such? Yeah, you were a real estate broker for my neighbor. They bought a house, like just anything to get in the good graces of people, of making them think that making you think they're familiar with you, with your work, with, that's scary as hell.
It is very scary. And I think with all the evilness in the world, it would definitely be used. This is going to be the bad part of AI. Like, the good part of AI, yeah, there's people that's going to use that and make money off that and have fun with that, and it'll be a part of what they do. But the bad part of AI is going to be vicious. It's going to be on a different level.
But let me
like
ask
a
this.
different level.
And maybe I just don't understand.
Deep fakes, all that kind of shit is going to be bad.
Those glasses, what exactly is... am I correct in saying, like, let's say you're at a party and you're having fun and you want to record the party from, like, you, is that kind of how it's used?
Yes.
To, like, be a camera, but instead of you holding a camera, it's recording from your eyes?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And it's Bluetooth too, so you can take pictures with it.
You could talk on it like a phone too.
Talk on it like a phone.
That's some I Spy technology.
And it just looked like regular Calvin Klein glasses.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I've seen them.
Just glasses.
Yeah.
But I mean, you look at somebody's face and it's a blue light on. I mean, I'm sure shit like that they'll fucking take away because it'll be like incognito. But yeah, if you look at them now, it's like a little blue light there. So if you like on a train or something and look up and it's like, this motherfucker,
recording me.
Eddie comes to me and says, hey man, this dude was recording me. And I'm like, what? And he was like, me and Danny pressed the elevator button and we got on the elevator and this guy was on his phone. So he was like, so I didn't want to be rude and like just be looking at his phone. So I just leaned on the wall like this. And Danny was behind me. And he was like, so I wasn't looking at him. I was looking at the floor. And he was like, when the door opened and I looked up, he had his phone like this. And he was like, he filmed me getting out the elevator. He's like, I walked a couple steps, turned around and looked at him. He was standing in the elevator door like this. He was like, it's the old man that worked on the 4th floor. He was like this. And I was like, why didn't you ask him, how come he filming you? He's like, I don't know. I was like, what happened?
Y'all
like,
got beef?
I don't know. He's like, the door shut and he went and we went. I'm like, so why the fuck didn't you ask him? Why was he filming you? Like, did you think you would get in trouble for asking somebody something like that? Like, he's filming you. He was like, I don't know. I was like, did you say something to him? He was like, no, we just got in the elevator. And I was leaning on the wall and I looked up. His fucking phone was like this. And he was like, he watched us walk out the elevator and he stood there and filmed us.
Let me find out y'all got office beef.
I was like, damn, I don't know what that was about. He was like, he's an old man, like in his 60s.
All right, next grand.
Elon Musk robots, 30 grand.
I've been seeing like...
They've been walking. He showcased them the other day with this stupid fucking Cybertruck, which I hate, but robots, I mean, not like I want one, but that's pretty cool shit to think like in our lifetime, they have robots that do shit.
It already had a robot that killed itself because it was being over... It did. It threw itself down the step because it was being overworked.
What was it being worked? What was it doing?
It worked in a factory. It killed itself.
What was it doing?
I forget what the job was, but it was being overworked and it threw itself down the step. Like intentionally, it threw itself down the step. I mean, I don't want to replace humans. I don't like humans a lot of the times, but giving things control that don't have a soul
in our life where humans were taken away, where it's better for us.
Like what?
An
ATM.
Yes, there's
okay.
One. That's just one.
Okay. I mean, giving things control that don't have a soul or don't know morals and ethics and values can become dangerous. That's all I'm saying.
True. Especially if it's going to learn nuance like suicide. Like, how the fuck does a robot know when this gets too much?
Like,
I'm
they just
out.
can't take it no more. I just rather not work
My
anymore.
computer chip said, fuck this.
I just rather shut this down than to continue to burn out.
That is so hard to believe a computer. That's like a person that's on a computer a lot. It just says, no, you're not logging on to me today. I'm out. Psst. And just start smoking.
Computers can get overworked. They definitely can.
That's crazy to me. Who would be on a computer that much?
That's why too. Our computers, we have to swap them out every few years or so when the lease expires. Like computers can be overworked.
Just like people.
Yeah. Third grade.
What are you absolutely too old for?
What am I? I'm too
Don't
old.
Don't say something low hanging like fighting.
No, I'm
like
too...
We all are too old. Anybody listening to this and whatever, we all too old to be fighting.
I'm too old to do anything that doesn't feel good for me, that like I really don't want to do. I'm too old for that. I'm at a place in my life where
You piggybacked on mine because I was going to say something. I wasn't going to word it like that. Mine was going to be, I'm too old to not do what I want to do.
yeah. Well, I may not always be able to do what I want to do, but I cannot do what I don't want to do.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, I want to travel every weekend. I can't do that. But I can not.
No, you don't. You'd have jet lag. If we went
Well, maybe every month.
I'm about to say, if we went on trips every weekend.
Every month.
In the 4th month, you'll be like, babe, bitch tired.
Yeah.
Bitch tired. Like,
Okay.
I don't want to go away this weekend.
Every weekend is a lot. Every month is very feasible. But yeah, I may not be able to do that yet, but I cannot go to a party I don't want to go to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I can.
Yeah.
So that's I'm too old to not. It's crazy. So and I can say this because I don't really care. But I have a colleague, and I didn't even talk to you about this because I really didn't even need to. I did talk to some friends just to kind of think how to word it, but then they gave me some good advice. They gave me some ratchet advice too. But one of my colleagues, she doesn't like to drive. Our job,
Bad
our
accident?
role. I don't know. I don't know. She just doesn't like to drive on the highway.
Okay.
And there's an event it's coming up, it's like a month from now. And I knew that she had like asked other people to carpool in the past, but she reached out to me and was like, hey, if I attend this event, do you mind carpooling? And when I saw it, in my mind, I immediately knew, like, no, I'm not doing that. But I did hesitate, and I was kind of upset at myself. Not that I felt afraid. Like, I knew, and I still haven't even told her yet, but I'm going to. But I knew for sure the answer was no. But it was almost like I didn't want to hurt her feelings. Mm-hmm. So I was trying to think of a way to say it without, hurting her feelings. But in my mind, it was like, I'm not comfortable with it, so I'm not doing it. Like, I'm just not doing it. Like, I don't know how she'll figure it out. She don't have to go to this thing. She wants to, but I hope that she figures out a way to go to it if she really wants to, but it's not going to be through me.
So it's a part of your nature, it's a part of your personality to think about.
To not want to hurt her, yeah. But it's also, I can't do something that I don't feel good about.
I know that you'll stand on, like you're not going to put yourself in a situation where you just uncomfortable with, like, people in your car that you don't want in your car. But you do have a problem with confrontation. Not just you. A lot of people have.
It's not even so much with confrontation. It's not wanting to. It's caring about other people's feelings. But I'm not gonna care. I'm not gonna put somebody else's feelings above my own.
Right.
Even when I do tell her, I'm probably still gonna be thinking like, "Damn, I hope she all right." But I'm gonna be. It ain't gonna like weigh on me.
Yeah.
It's just not. So again, I'm too old to do anything that I don't want to do. Yeah. And I think too, you get to a point in life, and I think, like you said, not wanting to hurt people's feelings, but I feel like that old saying people used to say, like, those who mind don't matter and those who matter won't mind. Like, if you might have a friend that has something going on and maybe you're not feeling good mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and you can't make it. And that should be okay to not be able to make it sometimes. Mm-hmm. I do also believe that and I seen somebody say this, that they had made this promise to themselves in this season of their life. If they say they're going to do something, then they must do it. So for me, I take that, I kind of internalize that. Yeah. Like, if I tell somebody I'm going to do something or I'm going to come. And I used to be bad with that. Like, not wanting to tell people that it wasn't even so much not wanting to tell them that I wasn't going to come. I would say yes. And then when the time came, I might not feel like it. So now I'm much more comfortable with saying, I'll let you know.
I still think it ties into confrontation. And again, it's not a bad thing. I'm not saying it in a shot way, like it's a bad thing or a bad quality. It's just there's people who really lean into confrontation, and then there's people who lean back from confrontation. Even the story I was telling you about Eddie, like me just asking him, like, yo, why didn't you ask the man how come he was filming you? Like, he didn't know why. And when I said, because you told me before you don't like confrontation, he was like, I guess, like, just the confronting of the man. Not that I thought I was gonna get in trouble or I thought he would say something shitty, but just that having to talk to somebody that I don't know who's doing something wrong that I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Even if it turned out nice, I still don't like the confrontation of it.
But for me, it's not even a confrontation piece. What I'm saying is, when I said yes, I may really have wanted to do it.
Okay.
And now that the time comes, I may not feel like it. So what I've learned is to maybe not always say yes, to kind of just be more comfortable in saying, I'll let you know.
But the hurt and feelings part, you said initially, like when somebody asked you, initially you said, I don't want to hurt their feelings. So initially you probably thought, I don't want to do this, but I don't want to hurt your feelings right here in front of me. So you...
No, I'm talking about the second piece when I said, if I say yes to something, then I'm going to do it. That's the piece I'm talking about. Meaning, if I say yes, then I want to be true to my word. But I just have to be mindful to not always say yes, because I don't know how I'm going to feel if the date gets closer. That's all I'm saying.
But what about the hurting of the feelings part? Where'd that come in at?
That was in the other scenario of having to say no.
Okay.
Yeah. But, okay, so you said you was piggybacking, so kind of the same thing. That's something that you absolutely are too old for.
Yeah.
But I don't think you too old to fight, though, if somebody bothered me. I don't think you would bypass the age factor.
I mean, that's just reactionary. I still think my body would think I'm too old to fight. But that's just reactionary. I'm going to be protective of you or protective of myself, but... Yeah, that's a reactionary.
You don't have that on your shoulder anymore. Like, I wish a mother effer would.
No.
You think to yourself now more like, I hope a mother effer don't, because I just don't feel like it.
Yeah, I mean, who got time for that shit? Getting scuffed and scraped. You might have to go to the hospital at a big age. You know, you might break a bone. You know, you could lose a fucking tooth. Like it's a lot of shit could happen when you out there fighting. You can get a black eye, then you gotta walk around for 10 days with a fucking black eye. Like, and that shit hurt. So, yeah.
And nowadays, you can't even scuffle because you don't know what somebody might pull out.
No, and it's not gonna be a fair scuffle. So you might get stomped out, or you might get shot. That's even, or you might die. Like, getting shot is one thing, but if I die from getting shot, that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
That's a wrap. Act 2 Podcast, episode 197. Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Podcast Index, Podchaser, Google Podcasts, Player FM. Like, subscribe, share, talk a little shit. We'll talk a little shit back. It's your boy International Welp.
It's your girl Tosh, the co-host with the posters.
If you fuck with us, you fuck with us. If you don't, you should. Peace. You put your peace sign up before me. That was rude.